On the Business Courier centerpiece this week, a topic near and dear to our hearts at Business Watch. 23 Cincinnati breweries are currently open for business, and at least 12 more are set to open this year. On the front page, the Cincinnati beer scene foams over, and it's just the start. And those in the brewery business say they're not worried about the market. They see themselves as peers and not competitors. In 2010, Cincinnati was home to just 7 craft breweries. Since then, craft beer has exploded here and nationally, with the number of new breweries growing 91% between 2010 and 2014. That's according to the Brewers Association. Mad Tree Brewing is embarking on an $18 million expansion of its business into the former Rock 10 manufacturing plant in Oakley. For Cincinnati, which is still in the early stages of brewery development, this could mean a continuing boom of investment and development in the craft brewing segment. It also could boost the beer tourism industry as enthusiasts come to town for festivals or to tour what could end up as a trail of breweries throughout Cincinnati. Business Courier reporter Andy Brownfield counts beer among the many beats he covers for the Courier. He's with Business Courier editor Rob Dawmeyer in the studio to talk more about the local brewery scene. Rob and Andy.
Peg, thanks, Andy. Thanks for being here. Neither you nor I like beer much, so this was a tough story for you to do, I think, and tough for me to edit. So as Peg said, there's 23 as of whatever time it is breweries, and more to come this year. How can it be possible that we're not saturated already? How can more breweries fit into Cincinnati?
Well, there's just a huge demand for the liquid that they're producing. I mean, beer is really big right now, and you know, when I was in college just a couple short years ago, there wasn't really a lot of options if you wanted better beer, and now it's just driven by the demand. People are clamoring for this product.
And why is it? What is the difference between now and, let's say, 5-10 years ago, when you could still get good beers, but they were basically made somewhere else, not in Cincinnati? Is there something that happened here in Cincinnati that made it just more ripe for development?
I don't know about Cincinnati in particular, but craft beer is a craft. I mean, people take pride in the beer they make, and driven by demand, people want to try new and interesting and different things. And local drinking, eating, shopping local is really huge right now, and I think that's driving a lot of this growth.
So you mentioned in the story, and Peg mentioned as well, that some of the breweries are already expanding, spending a lot of money. You've written a lot of stories about, you know, the multi-million-dollar expansions that a lot of these local brewers are making. How are they going to look differently? Are they going to expand their reach, or how are these breweries going to look different when they can produce so much more beer?
Well, a lot of what they're trying to do is create a destination. I mean, it's one thing to distribute to Dayton if you're a Cincinnati brewery, but it's another to have people come into your brewery. You can tell your story a lot better when you have people on site, on premise. They can meet your brewers and your staff and interact with the brand more directly. So, for instance, Rheingeist, they just expanded with a new event space and a rooftop bar, and Mad Tree, they're undergoing their $18 million expansion, as Peg said, and a big part of that is building a bigger tap room.
Wow, so what kinds of beers, these aren't cheap, what kinds of beers are selling well that all these local breweries are making?
Well, IPA is still king. A lot of drinkers are still really enjoying their IPAs, but you know, as breweries mature, they're getting a bit more adventurous and trying new things. There are a lot of people trying sour or tart beers right now, or just experimenting with unique and different ingredients and hop combinations. And
so after this year, if we get up to 40-some breweries at the end of this year, I mean, from who you've talked to, do you think that could keep going, or are we going to, at some point, we have to be able to be hitting a saturation point here?
Yeah, I think at some point it will be harder to enter the market, but I don't think that is going to happen anytime soon. And as the beer scene keeps developing, I think we may see more and more neighborhood brew pubs or micro or nano breweries that serves just a limited location on premise and aren't really worried about distributing all over the state of Ohio.
Well, it's a great story and really fascinating. It's been really fun to watch this industry sort of grow it from nothing. So I'm sure there'll be more stories to come and more drinking to come, and hopefully we'll just all stay sober enough to keep writing about it. So back to you, Peg.
All right, yeah, if you're a craft beer fan, it's a great time to be in Cincinnati. Thanks, Andy and Rob.